my friends, and tonight Russia didn't sleep. The Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation stated that during the night until December 30, their territories were attacked by 32 drones. The Russian authorities claim that Ukraine carried out the attack, asserting that all drones were allegedly shot down and intercepted over the territories of the Bryansk, Orlov, Kursk, and Moscow regions. The Ukrainian government hasn't yet commented on this information. Specifically, overnight, Governor Vyacheslav Gladko reported explosions in the Russian city of Belgorod and mentioned a casualty and an injured person due to falling debris. Earlier, the Russians also claimed to have allegedly destroyed 13 rocket projectiles over the Belgorod region. There was also a drone party in Bryansk.
Что-то жужжит. Ну да. Да, вон он, вон он.
Governor Alexander Bogomas reported that unwanted guests interfered with the party. He stated that air defense systems shot down 6 unmanned aerial vehicles of the aircraft type over the Bryansk and Bryansk district of the region. As always, there are no casualties or damages reported in Russia. However, Russian Telegram channels report that, according to preliminary information, the radio plant Kremny L in the city was attacked again, where components for Russian weapons are manufactured. It's worth noting that this plant in Bryansk has been a target of attacks before. Among other things, this facility produces components for the Panzer air defense systems and Iskander missile complexes. The plant is one of the largest producers of microelectronics in the aggressor country, Russia. Recall that on the previous day, Russia launched one of the most massive attacks on Ukraine since the beginning of the invasion, launching over 1,500 missiles and drones. Currently, there are reports of 30 fatalities and over 160 injuries as a result of the attacks. In response, Russia decided to shell Kharkiv. As of yesterday evening, there are reports of missile strikes on the center of Kharkiv, with at least 14 casualties. Now, let's move on to the situation on the front line. In the Kherson direction, the situation is practically unchanged. Russians continue their attempts to push our forces from the left bank, but all in vain.
Yesterday night and today there was fog in the area of the village of Krinky, which made it possible for our attack aircraft to act without looking back at the air, since the enemy's small aircraft, as well as ours, did not work. Another inglorious, already 60th day of the destruction of the enemy's bridgehead under the leadership of General Teplinsky has ended. Do you remember what hopes were pinned on him? Isn't it funny to you now?
As it seems, success is on the side of the Ukrainian armed forces. In the Zaporizhia direction, the occupiers have once again changed the direction of their attacks, and battles are reported in the Kopany area. It appears that this time they are attempting to advance from the village towards Robotine. So let's see how it plays out this time. Shalin continues along the entire front line. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers have initiated attacks in a new direction. Currently, they are trying to break through in the area of Priutne. The large number of shelling incidents along the entire front line also persists. In the Avdiivka direction, despite a large number of attacks, nearly 30 in a day, the occupiers are not achieving success. They continue to storm Stepove, periodically using equipment but mostly relying on assault groups. Intense battles are also taking place in the area of the coke chemical plant. However, the Ukrainian armed forces continue to successfully repel all attacks. In the southern part of Avdiivka, attempts by the Russians to establish themselves on the outskirts of the private sector persist but remain unsuccessful. The southern flank is constantly under fire, with attacks targeting Pervomaiske and Nevelske. However, in the area of Severne, the Russians once again failed to make any progress, and today's actions are limited to Shalin. In the Bakhmut direction, the occupiers have become more active again. The assaults on Bogdanivka continue, with attempts to capture the village building by building. As already known, battles are taking place within the village, and a significant amount of shelling is reported. Meanwhile, clashes near Klishchiivka have resumed, and attacks on Andriivka continue. There are no changes along the front line in the past day, and the struggle for positions continue. The Ukrainian armed forces periodically repel attempts to capture trenches, but this doesn't lead to changes along the front line. In the Siversk direction, shelling continues, but their intensity has decreased today. No new attacks are currently reported, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Krumina area, Russians have resumed attacks, this time in a new direction. They are attempting to storm Ukrainian positions near the village of Makiivka. Shelling of all frontline villages near the river continues. No changes along the front line have been recorded in the past day. In the direction of Svatva, the occupiers have reactivated, resuming shelling of the villages of Nadia, Stelmachivka, Novoselivske, and Berestove. However, no new attacks have been reported so far. In the Kupiansk direction, the occupiers continue to storm Sinkivka, and 7 attacks have been repelled over the day. As before, the front line remains unchanged. And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Today is the last time we see each other in 2023. President Zelensky summed up the results of this year.
Good health, dear Ukrainians. Briefly about this day. The Supreme Commander-in-Chief's staff meeting was special, summing up the year, and it also concerned next year. All that has been done this year and what needs to be done next year. The Commander-in-Chief, the General Staff reported, our action plan for 2024 was also presented. A report by the Defense Intelligence and External Intelligence was heard about what the occupiers are preparing for, and in general, about the situation, about general military political expectations and possible events in the world. Despite everything that will happen in other countries, despite any political changes and moods, we need sufficient potential to do our own thing, to achieve our goals. It is clear that next year will be a time of many decisions, global decisions. And Ukraine needs to be able to influence them, to be able to achieve its goals. We will fight for our influence, for justice for Ukraine, and I am grateful to all the leaders who help, who have been with us since February 24th and will be with us in 2024. Today, the entire day has been dedicated to reports on the relief operations in the aftermath of Russian strikes. In total, more than 120 of our cities and villages were affected by yesterday's Russian attack. A total of 39 fatalities. My condolences go out to everyone who has lost loved ones. It is crucial to provide all necessary assistance to those affected whose homes and apartments have been damaged by terrorists. It is important to address it both at the government and local levels. Ukrainian rescuers, doctors, police officers, all employees of municipal enterprises involved, I thank you for helping people, working around the clock to save as many lives as possible. Currently, a rescue operation is underway again in Kharkiv. 17 people have been injured in another strike.
I want to greet you with the upcoming year, hoping that all the bad things will stay in the old year. May 2024 bring us victory. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.